Breaking news! The lull of training camp didn't last long. Just when everything seemed to be falling into place, a wave of unexpected setbacks forced the Cleveland Browns to change direction quickly. What began as a routine evaluation period turned into something much more intriguing. A surprise move. Behind the scenes, decisions are being made that could reshape the team's immediate future and possibly shake up the entire roster. What really prompted this sudden change? And what does it mean for next season? You're about to find out. But first, be sure to hit the like button if you've been a fan for over 30 years and write in the comments, "Go Browns!" Let's support the team for an exceptional season. Now, let's get straight to the point. The quarterback room in Cleveland has just taken a dramatic turn, and not in the way anyone expected. Training camp is barely underway, and what should have been a battle between rising stars and seasoned veterans has quickly turned into a game of survival. The Browns have made a surprise but calculated move, reaching back into the vault to bring in someone who once had the spotlight but vanished from the field for Cleveland last season, Tyler Huntley. That name might sound familiar, and it should. Huntley, a 2022 Pro Bowl selection, is re-entering the Browns' quarterback carousel amid a cascade of injuries that have quietly, but significantly, reshaped the competition in Berea. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Huntley is re-signing with Cleveland, stepping in as the team tries to stabilize a suddenly fragile group of quarterbacks. With Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders all nursing minor injuries, Huntley returns to share reps with veteran Joe Flacco, who, believe it or not, has emerged as the healthiest and most reliable option in camp so far. That sentence alone should raise some eyebrows. Joe Flacco, in 2025, is the most dependable quarterback in Cleveland's camp, and it's not because the others have fallen behind on the depth chart due to poor performance alone. It's because none of them are healthy enough to string together consistent reps. It's a concerning situation that has forced the Browns to abandon their original strategy of carrying their current QBs through camp without making outside additions. But why Huntley? This move isn't just about experience, although Huntley brings plenty. He's entering his 6th year in the league, having spent 4 seasons with the Ravens and splitting time between the Browns and Dolphins last season. While he didn't see any game action with Cleveland in 2024, he did start 5 games for Miami in place of an injured Tua Tagovailoa, putting up 829 passing yards and a 64.7% completion rate, with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't spectacular, but it was enough to remind teams that Huntley can still manage an offense when called upon. And now, with a chance to do it again in Cleveland, the narrative could quickly shift from an emergency signing to unexpected contender. The timing is everything. The Browns are days away from their first preseason game against the Carolina Panthers, and the quarterback situation has become a headline story. Flacco, who has been splitting reps throughout camp, is unlikely to suit up for the opening exhibition. That means all eyes will be on the rest of the QB room, and most likely, on Huntley. It's not just about giving him a second look, it's a real audition, possibly for teams across the league watching closely to see which quarterbacks might shake loose as rosters shrink. The injuries? They're not catastrophic, but they're nagging enough to disrupt the rhythm of training camp. Kenny Pickett has been sidelined with a lingering hamstring issue. Dillon Gabriel, the rookie from Oregon, is battling the same. Shedeur Sanders missed time last week with arm soreness. It's not ideal, not when every rep counts in a tight competition where no starter has officially been named. And that brings us to Dillon Gabriel. Of all the quarterbacks in the room, Gabriel's situation might be the most polarizing. Entering the league with high hopes after a strong collegiate career with the Oregon Ducks, where he threw for 3,857 yards, 30 touchdowns, and just 6 picks in 2024, Gabriel has had a rocky start to his professional journey. Through 10 days of camp, he's completed 66 of 118 passes, good for a 55.9% completion rate, with 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Not terrible, but not the kind of numbers that silence critics either. And critics, he has. Cleveland radio host Darrell Reuter didn't hold back when discussing Gabriel's performances on the Ken Carman Show. His words were direct and brutal. He's not good. He's not an NFL quarterback. Not right now. He cited accuracy issues, poor reads, and the baffling decision by the Browns coaching staff to continue giving Gabriel first-team reps despite his inconsistencies. From a developmental perspective, Reuter argued that Gabriel should be treated like a project, not as someone competing for the starting job in year 1. They're forcing me to evaluate him like he is a first-round pick and like he is a starting quarterback in the NFL, Reuter said. And while his stance is harsh, it echoes a growing sentiment that Gabriel may not be ready for the NFL spotlight, especially not in a quarterback room this crowded and wounded. But this situation is fluid. Injuries can change the dynamics in an instant. That's precisely what's happening now, and it's why Huntley's arrival matters more than just filling a roster spot. It's about stabilizing the chaos. About giving the Browns a known quantity to rely on while the others heal or fight for their future. And with joint practices against the Panthers happening this week, followed by preseason games against Philadelphia and the Rams, these moments are more than just warm-ups. They are additions, accelerators, and potential turning points. What's clear is this: the Browns have entered training camp with a vision of evaluating their options, but circumstances have forced them to pivot. The quarterback battle is no longer just about skill and upside. It's about availability, adaptability, and how fast someone like Huntley can get up to speed. And so the story continues. What do you think of the Browns bringing back Tyler Huntley? Does he have a real shot to compete, or is this just a temporary fix? Let me know in the comments. And as we look ahead to the Browns' next preseason steps, one name you can bet will be getting meaningful snaps is Tyler Huntley. The decision to bring him in on what was supposed to be a quiet Monday now feels like the beginning of another quarterback storyline in Cleveland, a franchise that knows all too well how quickly these narratives can spiral. If Joe Flacco ends up sitting out the first preseason game, as expected, Huntley will be handed the reins. That's not just a placeholder role, it's a test. With joint practices against the Panthers already giving Cleveland coaches a taste of live action, Huntley's command of the offense, chemistry with receivers, and decision-making under pressure could all influence how long he stays. And maybe, just maybe, it opens the door for more. It's a tightrope walk, especially for Gabriel. While his raw numbers show he's been active, more pass attempts than any other quarterback in camp, his efficiency is the lowest. And unlike Sanders, who is quietly impressed with a 70.9% completion rate and 6 touchdowns with 0 picks, Gabriel's inconsistencies have made him the lightning rod of this competition. Criticism is part of the job, especially in Cleveland, but the noise around him is getting louder. So what's the Browns' endgame here? That's the mystery fans are desperate to solve. Are they grooming Gabriel and Sanders as long-term projects behind Flacco's experience? Is Pickett still a real contender once healthy? Or is the Huntley signing a silent vote of no confidence in the current depth? With the preseason opener against the Panthers just days away, we're about to get our first real answers, not just about Gabriel or Huntley, but about how head coach Kevin Stefanski and the front office plan to shape this team's identity under center. The quarterback room is full, but clarity? That's still hard to find. What's your take, Browns fans? Does Huntley deserve a real shot in this competition, or is Cleveland just buying time? Drop your thoughts below and let's hear who you're rooting for as the QB1 of the future. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay well informed. Go Browns!